I heard it through, a blog through Harvard University that emotion only lasts 90 seconds. Emotion only lasts 90 seconds. So if you are in a point of pain, after 90 seconds, you are choosing to be at that point of pain.
Change your body, change your life. What a powerful quote. Today we have special guest Paul Walker, who's the owner and founder of Integrity Fitness, a 9-time award-winning world-class training facility for women. He has graced the fitness industry for over 3 decades and is well-known and respected fitness professional in all of Ontario. He has been featured on CP24 and other social media. And every year he leads his team to inspire and motivate over 2,000 women to achieve fabulous results. So Paul, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
So what is your biggest goal in your fitness industry as a fitness coach, trainer?
Sure. That's a good question. So one of my main goals is to provide the proper type of leadership to my clients so they understand that, when they come into the facility, I can be able to answer all their questions. And most of the time that goal, it usually does not, revolve around, believe it or not, fitness. It actually revolves around more the mindset and getting inside and being in the right space so that you get the energy and motivation to train. So my biggest goal is to inspire people to look outside the box and take that 5% investment that we do put into our health, because I believe from the deepest part of my soul that affects the other 95% of our life.
Right.
Absolutely.
So can you speak more to that? What is the 95% that we're impacting?
Well, at the end of the day, we take our 5% of our health and we got to make sure to be our best selves, be our highest vibrational selves. We have to be in the right space to make the right decisions, to be strong, to be energetic, to provide energies for the ones we love, to be able to support the ones we love, and even support ourselves. And so often that other 95% of our life, we're spent so much time, adjusting and, inundated with different types of decisions and tasks and goals and responsibilities that we can get so absorbed into that world that we're not taking care of ourselves. And then what happens is that I find that when we get too deep into that portion, that we start to feel a little bit fatigued. We don't show up well. How do we show up when we're tired? How do we show up when we're fatigued? How do we show up when we don't take care of ourselves? Not well. And then what happens is that we're out there in the world, and we realize at some point in time we're not being our best selves. We could be better. We could be, more energetic. We said something to our kids that maybe we shouldn't have said because we're a little bit tired, or maybe one of our coworkers said something that made us kind of irk a little bit, and we didn't talk to them for a few days because it bothered us. And it really isn't a reflection of who we are as a person. It's a reflection of who we are as in terms of our state of mind, where we are, and where we're taking care of our body. And I just firmly believe that if you spend 5% in investing in your health, eating well, taking care of your health, that you will get more to life and be more in a state of gratitude, more happy, and just be, have a better quality of life when you do that.
We love that, and we completely and wholly align with that. So just looking at your own personal life, can you speak to that? Is this in relationship to your personal experience as well?
100%. I was going back, I think it was about 2016. And, I was trying to I had 2 studios on the go at that particular time. I had, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 clients. I had a team of about 30 people. And I realized, down the road through hearing things, that the way I was showing up was also the way I was leading my team. My team wasn't, following necessarily what was coming out of my mouth and my words. They were following more my actions. I was coming in stressed, and I was not showing up well to the ladies. I was coming into the room tired, and I wanted to, motivate the inspire. And it was more, I felt like I was forcing the energy and forcing the positivity, and I was forcing everything. And even your home life, it starts to become a little bit more stressed. You go home and you're grumpier. And I started to realize that, even just exercising is not enough to keep ourselves in that right place. I was lean, I was fit, I was working out 6 days a week, but I wasn't completely invested mentally and physically into being ready to attack the day. So I got myself involved into a lot of podcasts. I got myself into a lot of projects that involve getting myself set up in the right state of mind. And then I realized that 5% is not just working out. It's your mental state, it's your emotional state, it's the way you eat and the way you take care of your body. So the high protein diets and, eating vegetables and starving yourself off on carbs wasn't working for me. I even got into the DNA and working with people that in terms of supplementation. I was going to say the company, I don't want to do that, but I got involved with that. And I realized that working with my genetics also helped me be in the right place. And that was also another 1% in there. And then I basically sat there and said to myself, hey, this is a full round, to take a full picture of this whole, I guess, fitness and health side of things. It's more than just working out, that we have to look after ourselves in the big picture. And that is eating right, getting up, starting your day off with a good morning routine. That's all part of my mental health, which is also impacting my physical health at the same time. So once I had done that, I felt like I just became, I guess, more involved and a better leader. And then my community grew. And then from there, I just become more connected to people. And I guess I have better relationships from it.
So meaning that when you changed the way you were doing things, your business actually grew, you had better relationships. So can you speak to what happened when you were not your best self, when you came in grumpy and tired and, just following your diet and lifestyle stuff just strictly? Like, what did that look like, the before and then the after? We'd love to hear about that.
Good question. I'm going to be completely transparent, and I'll be honest with you. Inside, you do a lot of judging and complaining and assessing, and you just the language you use with yourself inside is terrible, right? So when I was in that place, physically I was working out and I got a good workout, but that was a very short-lived type of thing. But mentally, the language I was using myself was terrible. I mean,
what does that mean? Give us specifics. If you're okay with that.
No, I went to I went to a nice motivational conference, and one of the questions they asked, and I'll never forget it, was write down something you're proud of yourself. And I couldn't think of one thing in my life that I was proud of. And I was ashamed of the fact that I couldn't do that. All the positive parts they were trying to get out, I just couldn't find anything good in my nature. I have been so rough on myself. And every time I accomplished something, it was never good enough. I had to do it better, or I had to move forward, and you may understand is that when you're out in the public, you listen to, there's a lot of criticism. There's people that love what you're doing. There's people that were, very critical of what you're doing. And that language was just become a part of who you became. And when I realized I couldn't be proud of something, I realized that hey, being fit is not the be all end all. Having 9% body fat and having abs means nothing. Nobody gives two beeps about that, right? It's about how I was showing up and how happy I was with myself. And then when I made myself happy, I was able to make others happy because I was listening. I was more grateful. I was absorbing their energy. I was understanding them more. I was connecting with them more because I was coming from a different place inside.
Love that. Wow. And what's interesting with that is you were already having a very successful career, even inside of that negative conversation with yourself. Right?
I was not mentally healthy. And that's where my business pivoted. And back then is that I was starting to relate that, let's not talk about exercise, fitness and health. It's part of the mental part of things, but is getting my clients mentally prepared and excited to train so that they can actually look forward to actually working it, and they love working it, and they do it for themselves. We stopped worrying about weight loss. We stopped worrying about having abs. We stopped worrying about being skinny. We had a different language, and I changed the language inside my studio to be more reflective of, just like the ones we have behind us, right? It's just you invest in yourself because it makes you a better person. You invest in yourself so you show up better. And fitness is just one part of that tool. You need to be well-rounded. And then what I did was branch out to other professionals like yourself and connected them to people that would make them feel better, both emotionally and physically.
Mm.
So it sounds like the cornerstone habit or shift that you had was like the incorporating the mental emotional side. That was the biggest shift for you.
100%. It changed my life. I was, always chasing, the next new cool exercise or the next new cool routine or the next new cool program. And I think that's what a lot of us do, but most of us don't really chase being prepared mentally and being satisfied and happy with themselves. And it breaks my heart when I interview women and I talk to women, and I can see that they can't find that happy place in themselves, that they've been they've invested so much into their kids and so much into their families, and they've invested so much, and they just can't find that peace and love with themselves to just love who they are. And, who they are as a person doesn't change because of the way they're shaped or the fact that they're not, I guess, as fit as the person that's working at beside them. They, seeing that they are there to take care of their health and love themselves for who they are today became more important to me than actually the way their body is shaped. Changed over the course of time. And what happened was my clientele started to change over the course of time when people were starting to come in, and I was not that person to come in and say, hey, let's lose 10 pounds in 1 month. I flat out say, hey, that's not me. Let's get you set up mentally. Let's get you set in the right place, because you're going to lose your 10 pounds. That's not hard. You guys know that. If you eat well and you're active, you're going to lose the weight. But staying motivated, staying engaged, enjoying it, that's a different thing. And it's hard to do that and be consistent all the time. And that's my primary goal, is to help women be consistent and motivated, inspired all the time, not because they want to lose 10 pounds, because it feels good and helps them make a better person.
That's fantastic. So I'm hearing from you, one of your goals is to kind of teach women to love themselves as they are now. Because that's a big question. Can we love ourselves now as we're trying to change our bodies, versus trying to get to that end point goal and then loving ourselves and then still wanting to lose another 10 pounds?
Well, and then you know what? And I love that you said that, Tanya, because listen, Paul was there. He was like, what did you say? 9% body fat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And did that make the difference for you? Right. Being totally upper echelon of health, and right. And people aspire to be that. And then are you happy then? You weren't, right?
So a lot of people don't know this. One of my, I guess going way back, and I guess, and people don't, I guess, understand this, but the pain, the label I put myself on when I was a child, because I was the fattest kid in school for years and years. I was picked on. I was bullied. I was at the point where I was actually having to find different exits in my school to kind of hope that the bullies weren't there ready to beat me up, because I was so fat. And the names they called you back then, it was just a terrible place to be. And it scarred me. I mean, at the end of the day, it was very scarring. And because where I was at 12, 13, 14 years old, that label I put on myself never went away. I did fitness shows, never went away. I did competitions, never went away. I got to 9% body fat, never went away. You know why? Because nobody cared. People just care who you were as a person, how I was showing up with them. Sure, I got to be a great role model and be healthy and be the part. But at the end of the day, that label, that pain was so great that helped me talk to women that were out there that were wrestling with their weight, wrestling with their identity, because they associate that, that who they should be physically, aesthetically, that's who they think they should be. And we were connected to that. And I go two ways with that to answer that question. I'm sorry it's long-winded. One, it's maybe something we've done and we've labeled ourselves, and we have to find that label, what caused that pain. Because I've got women in here that got to 15% body fat and they still feel like they're fat. Right? I've got to women that are 30% body fat that are loving themselves and hugging themselves every single day. What's the difference between the two of them? Was it the label? Was some sort of pain in the past? Not sure, but that's what you have to kind of connect with and understand. The language that you use for yourself is the most important part of how you're going to feel. But the second part of that, really when it comes down to it, is that we don't feel good, and we're aware of that when we're not really trying. We're not really investing in our health. So, if we're out there and we're not taking care of our health, or we're not exercising, we know that, right? We know we're not trying. And deep down inside, it's not that I feel overweight. It's just the fact that I'm not really investing in my health and even trying, right? So that's where the mental block I find comes in, where people come in, they're very shy. They're very timid. They're sometimes maybe a little ashamed. And I can tell that the language that they're using with themselves is something we have to attack. So we have a nice, deep conversation, and we understand, Are they judging themselves? What words are they saying to themselves? Are they struggling mentally when they're in that workout? Do they feel defeated, right? Because you don't want to feel defeated. That's the number one way to kill anybody's motivation. So we have to find the language and change the language. So usually when I talk to a client, I'll challenge them on the words that they're using, right? So if they're harsh words, we'll change the language, right? And then we get them to accept that if they're investing, they're trying, they're actually putting in the work, that whoever they blossom into, that's their beautiful self. And we with the mindset that we have, that's what we're trying to get them to accept who they are, and they just love themselves for who they are that day, right? At the end of the day, if you're not investing in yourself, you're always going to feel like you could have done more. Does that make sense?
100%. And, as you're speaking, I'm like, wait a minute, I need to work out with you. Because you've pivoted. You're not in, you're in Vaughan, right? The actual gym was in Vaughan. Yes. Anyway, the point is, the old way people went physically to a gym, and now people are pivoting online. So it's like, oh my gosh, you could be in Timbuktu and I could work out with you. So you need to tell our viewers and our listeners where to find you, for one. And of course, we'll have it in our show notes, which is embraceyoufirst.com. So check out the episode for Paul Walker. But where do we find you?
Well, I am in Vaughan. I've been in Vaughan now for about 33 years. I train just women. I'm at the corner of Highway 7 and 27. We have a nice facility, beautiful facility. And we basically do in-studio training that we do with large groups of ladies, 15, 18 ladies. We have pivoted to an online program. Our online program encompasses a few things. It's the virtual training, which you get. So hopefully I'd like to have you ladies on our workouts one of these days. And we have about 200 ladies on that program. And then we also have the coaching programs that we're going to be doing a little bit of, personal, mental, and fitness health challenges that we do. We're just going to start one up very shortly. Awesome. And if you really want to, you get me at integrityfitness_world-class. It seems to be the primary way people like to communicate with me now is through DMs. And I love to do DMs, but it's also a great place because that's where I'm kind of sharing where I am emotionally. Physically and setting out some goals and challenges for everybody. And that's where I like to connect. So, yesterday's goal was a very big post of mine. Don't get into adversity. So I made a very post about that. And the ladies were sharing about how they feel about their pain, where they are with COVID. And you'd be surprised how many conversations I have with ladies and connect with ladies just over DM. And then next thing you know, they come in the studio and I get the pleasure of meeting them.
That's fantastic. And, with your gym and the way you work, are you working with women that are, let's say, pregnant or even trying to conceive or postpartum? Do you get those kinds of women? We do have some ladies that do have doctor's clearances to train in here. My program is really not, I would love to be able to branch that into the program. The pre, post, yes, we help women after they've had their babies. That's what we specialize in. Actually, to be honest with you, most of our clients are, I would say 90% of our clients are moms. Most of our clients are ladies trying to get back to that where they were at one particular place in time. And our job here is to train. And I just believe this. I just think women should be trained differently than a man. The conversation, the narrative, the goals, the energy systems are all different. So when the women are in our community and they see just women in the community, they tend to relax and open up. And then they start to, I guess, connect with other women in the community that are women that are just like themselves, that are reflecting their emotions, their mindset and everything else. And we create this community. And now the women are actually talking. And it's not a surprise. Many of our clients out here have created their best friends from right here in the studio just because they're connecting on the same, level and vibration. Wow, that's awesome. Because, I love that there is that connection, that energy, because we know, and we've talked about it in past episodes, where true connection will increase our resilience. It will boost our immune system. Hello, we're in the pandemic, right? And then also in research, it shows that it increases longevity. So I can't imagine a better place to actually be in a community to do fitness and looking at it from more than just the physical angle. So totally. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I wanted Paul on here because over the last 16 years of being in practice in the Vaughan area, I've heard such good feedback from patients. And then I've heard continued feedback as I say, how's the virtual platform? Because really, what are patients doing now, right? And a lot of patients, unfortunately, they were at a gym and then they feel stuck. So it's super helpful to have that community feel and to have you continuing to do it virtually. How do you feel like you are able to connect? I mean, I've heard good feedback, but how about on your end, Paul?
That was one of the pivots. I'm a very in-person, I'm a lovey-dovey guy. I'm a hugger. I like to connect. I'm the high five guy. And, I'm a team player. That's the biggest thing. And I think the most painful part of the whole process was taken away from me. That connectivity, that, being there. And part of the pivot was just actually finding ways to connect women, to find ways to connect ourselves to their goals and be, I guess, emotionally attached to them. And it's hard when you're on the side of the screen and, virtual, at the end of the day, it was very cold. So finding different ways, like one of the things we did is we got into coach programs where everybody's on camera, everybody's there, they can see each other, we can communicate and text and talk. We've created quite a few different ways where the women actually get together, and I call things a challenge. But really, when it comes to the challenge, it's just my way to engage women into the community. And then once we're in the community, we have a great group connection, and we meet every week on Zoom. We talk on Zoom. We create partnerships and relationships on Zoom. We connect on Instagram, and we try to build that community. And that kind of made me feel a little bit better. So we kind of, explored that. And that's the biggest part. And then when the ladies came back in, it was just epic to have that there. But and you guys might understand it, being connected and trying to get to women emotionally and being real and personable, the only way you do that is you just got to be yourself and share as much as you can. And that's where I had the hardest time, and that's where I've changed the most, where I've actually shared a little bit more about me, because I'm used to telling people about me. I'm used to meeting people about me, but just being over a camera and sharing, it's like you two are beautiful at that, and just being open. And that's when I start to create dialogue with other people, right?
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So awesome. I think it's almost like it enhances communication in some ways. If there is this feeling of disconnect, but the pauses for some people are uncomfortable. So you get to hear a lot more. And I guess it's easier for the personality like the talking personality, the ones who are a little bit more timid and shy away. It's great that you're creating these like platforms to help everybody be involved. So great feedback. It's awesome.
I just have to jump in here and say, when we asked Paul to be on the show, it's like, think of some questions that we should cover, right? And just so you know, we have covered none any of them. Zero. And it is so awesome because it's deeper. It's like, getting right to the soul of it. And yes, I mean, but this is a good question in terms of like, the looking at the heavier the resistance, the stronger the muscle, kind of like that. So it's like, well, what does that mean? I think it's a good thing to look at. And, talking about muscles under tension, like working it out until failure, like I think that's cool, but it's a very physical aspect of it. So since we're on that topic, you might as well answer this piece anyway, but I just love it that we went way beyond.
Yes. So tell us how your 5 timeless strength training principles, how they relate to the, and improve mental health and personal growth. Talk to those.
Sure. I don't know. Are you guys quote monsters? I'm a quote monster. I'm a huge quote monster. I'm a quote monster, right? I find quotes help get people through different parts of pain and that type of thing. And one of the quotes I wanted to share with everybody if they're listening, that I try to explain to ladies. And now, whether it's just true or not, I heard it through, a blog through Harvard University, that emotion only lasts 90 seconds. Emotion only lasts 90 seconds. So if you are in a point of pain, after 90 seconds, you are choosing to be at that point of pain. So if you don't feel good about yourself, sure, that lasts 90 seconds. But if you still don't feel so good about yourself 5-10 minutes later, you are choosing to be in that place. So before I get into that part, is I just want to share with ladies that you have the opportunity every 90 seconds to change the way you feel about yourself, your mood, your state. You can make decisions, right? And if you're staying in that place that you're unhappy, if you're staying in that place and happy, remember that, say that. Now, I'm going to say this quote that I always tell everybody that I love. Can I share a quote?
Absolutely.
All right. It's by Susan Taylor. Thoughts are energy, and you can make or break your world by your own thinking, right? Something that got me through some tough times. So when I'm in a down place, My thoughts are controlling my world. That emotion lasts 90 seconds. And all I have to do is change where I am, my place, my mindset, or my activity to instantly change my thought process about myself. So if I want to get in a positive place, I'm not motivated to work out, I'm not inspired to work out, that I can actually choose that decision to be that way in 90 seconds. And it's all up here. So it's just a matter of getting things done. Sorry, I didn't answer your question.
I love that.
No, it's okay.
That's fantastic.
This is, again, I love going off tangent. That's how we roll to talk to Tanya and I. Because I'm looking at the time, I'm like, oh, darn it, we're like getting close to the end. We have like 4 minutes left. So in 4 minutes, or actually in 3 minutes, you can talk about your 5 Tana's strength training principles.
Sure. All right. So basically willpower is like strength. So the idea is that when you want to get stronger, you have to put in what? You have to put in the reps, right? So to put in the reps, you're not going to, I guess, be stronger after 1 workout, 2 workouts, 3 workouts, is that you get stronger when you put the muscles time under tension over a consistent period of time. And the same thing goes with your physicality, your mental fitness, is that you're not going to get stronger from 1 day, 2 days, is that you need to be consistent and put in that work on a daily basis to get stronger mentally and physically. And if you consistently put in that work and you consistently put over that energy and that time in the gym, your muscles will get stronger, they will get larger, they will get better. And the same thing with your mindset. If you consistently put effort in, you get that daily routine. You get up in the day, you maybe say your meditation, you say your prayer, you get up and do your stretch, you work out, you eat your food, you eat your healthy fats, you do that stuff, and you do that consistently, you will then find yourself mentally and physically growing. But, and I don't use the word but because you forget everything you say before, everything I said beforehand. But if you don't use it, time under tension, you lose it, right? So if you're not strength training and you stop training, you start to lose it. If you stop the good habits over a period of time, you start to lose the progress. So you've got to keep going and keep working through this. And at the end of the day, the most important part about the whole process is that if you invest in yourself and you work it every single day and you put in the reps and you're consistent with your reps, you'll be happy with where you are as a person. And the same thing holds true mentally. If you put in the reps and you do the time and everything else, it's tough. And I'm not saying to do it all at once. It's not so easy to go into the gym and do 5 days a week of an hour a day. But if you just do 3 days a week and then you do 40 minutes and you do 50 minutes, or you get up in the morning and you spend 1 minute and you just do a prayer, or you do a meditation 3-4 times a week, you grow mentally to a place where you are very happy with yourself and you're very grateful for where you are, and you work out not because you have to, you work out because you can. You're actually doing in those reps in the morning, not because you have to, because it turns you into a more beautiful person at the end of the day. And then when you go downstairs to with your kids or your husband or your partner or whoever it is, you just feel more grateful in their presence. Their presence enriches you, and then you just have this positive energy, and that energy flows into your day.
Love it. And you did that in 3 minutes.
I was trying to figure out how to get down in 3 minutes. I can talk too much. So.
No, it's
We're
awesome.
the same, and you're awesome.
Yeah.
So time, patience, and consistent resistance is progress.
Yes.
And you did an
Yes.
amazing job kind of summarizing all of that. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much. What have you done recently in the biggest way to fill up your cup?
I read a book by Tommy Baker a while back, The 1% Rule. And the 1% rule is just try to get 1% better every single day. And what I've done is that I've actually started off with a morning routine. And that morning routine has grown. I'm very selfish in the morning, by the way. The first hour of the day is my time. And that's what fills my cup, is that when I leave that room and I go downstairs with my family, I'm in that happy place. And that consists of, my morning stretches, my meditation, my journaling, my fasting, healthy fats right out of bed, my lemon water, all these things to create myself in that place. And I don't turn this on, right? This is the other thing, is I unplug this until I
For
get
those
to
that
work
are
at
listening, he's pointing to his cell phone.
Sorry, yeah, my phone. I unplug. I take that phone up. I disconnect that. So I turn it on for my insight timer meditation, and that is it.
Nice.
And I a little bit every time. So you start with a small routine, right? Little one, and then you make your routine better. Now I've branched off into Wim Hof breathing.
Oh, are you doing that?
Showers.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
I'm trying.
I can't.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. Oh my God. I get in that shower and I'm like, oh, all right. 2 minutes of cold. Oh,
Yeah.
It's
so
not
invigorating.
Fun, but have you done it?
Yes.
You
I don't
have
like
done
it.
it?
I've
Yeah,
done it, but I don't like it at all.
I don't. Yeah, because I prefer warm, but it's fantastic. Yeah. And selfish is selfless. I have to reiterate that. Selfish time is selfless because then, as you say, you show up so much better for other people. So
and self-love.
And self-love. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. All that self-love is important. Self-integrity, self-love, invest in yourself because it just makes you a better person.
Awesomeness.
Take the time for yourself, ladies. Every day, take some time for yourself.